The Jewish mourning practices carry a person through the various stages of grief. First, there's the Shiva, during the week of the loss, then the Shloshim, the month of mourning, and then finally, of course, the year of mourning for one's parent. Moving slowly, gradually, out of mourning and back into the world. We're currently in a period of mourning in our Jewish calendar. During these 3 weeks before Tisha B'Av, we refrain from having weddings, celebrations, live music concerts, and then we'll move to the 9 days and finally to Tisha B'Av itself, to a day of intense mourning. Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik, the 20th century Jewish philosopher and leader, also known simply as the Rav, offered a keen insight into this time of year. He said that this process of the 3 weeks, the 9 days, Tisha B'Av, it's modeled after the personal mourning practices, but in reverse. Tisha B'Av is like the Shiva. That's the day we wear no leather shoes, there are no greetings to one another, no bathing. In fact, even more severe than the Shiva because there's also fasting, of course. And before that, the 9 days, he said, are likened to the Shloshim, the month. And before that, the 3 weeks are like the year of mourning. When we have a personal loss, we move from intense mourning into less and less intensity, moving us out of our grief. This national mourning happens in the opposite direction, moving us from normal life gradually into a state of mourning, into deeper sadness. Our calendar is moving us backwards in the mourning process. We're moving toward the Shiva in the national sense. Why is that? The Rav likened this contrast to 2 different categories of mourning. Avelut Chadasha, which is a newly occurred loss, and Avelut Yeshana, which means an older loss. He said when a person experiences their own loss, it's of course an Avelut Chadasha, something that is fresh, something painful, and their suffering is plain. They need help to move slowly, step by step forward in their life. We as a people, on Tisha B'Av, experience an Avelut Yeshana, an ancient loss, one that is impersonal, far away, 2,000 years old, in fact. In order to feel it on Tisha B'Av, we need to get ourselves there, slowly. We need the time to build up our sadness, as strange as that sounds, so that we can arrive on Tisha B'Av ready to be mourners. Perhaps this concept, this dichotomy between the new mourning and the ancient mourning, can help us understand how to approach Tisha B'Av. Avelut Chadasha, new mourning, this is something we feel acutely ourselves, something we feel truly saddened by or disturbed about in the world around us. And perhaps any world issue or communal challenge or personal difficulty could be like a new mourning, an Avelut Chadasha, something that we feel sad about. And this new mourning might be one way that we could access the ancient mourning. It's no wonder that schools and camps often show videos about the Holocaust or other current serious subjects to help young people access the emotional landscape of Tisha B'Av. During these 3 weeks, this is the chance to think about what pains us as a people. Unfortunately, we may not need to look too far. It could be the rise in anti-Semitism, or the world's judgment of Israel, or perhaps more specific local issues, Jewish poverty, or mental health challenges, or the isolation experienced by so many who have been trapped inside this past year. Tisha B'Av is a time to tune our ear to the suffering of the Jewish people. The Talmud says that one who mourns for Jerusalem will merit to rejoice in its rebuilding, whether it's the ancient loss or a modern new one. Only one who takes time and attention toward difficult issues will then be motivated and inspired to be part of the solution. To mourn is a prerequisite to rejoicing. Even as we move through these difficult weeks, our liturgy always turns us back to hope, to promises of redemption. Shabbat is never a time for mourning, even during these weeks. It's a time for renewing our commitment to a more perfected world. May our mourning lead to rejoicing. May we find peace on this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.